Well, it's Leon here.
And Phil.
We're having a look at Aliens Colonial Marines, which you have played quite a lot of over the course of its development. You played it most recently. Did you go over to the studio or did you go to an event?
It was over in London.
Yeah.
I got hands-on with a single player, which you're looking at now.
Yeah.
This is when you're on LV 426 with your squad mates, and you're about to enter Hadley's Hope, which is... It feels like you're going through like a fanboy museum of aliens.
Yeah.
Basically. So you're about to spend quite a while looking at the Hadley's Hope sign in reverence, and then going through the interior of Hadley's Hope, which has all the sort of acid marked bits here and there, just as you remember in the movies.
Does it feel like it's leaning on the kind of the fan aspect of it quite heavily? Because as you say, we're about to look at the sign for a little longer than I think is necessary.
There we go. Gratuitous, isn't it? I think Gearbox has been so worried about displeasing the fans, being so protective of this franchise, that they've actually... It's the strongest aspect of the game is the fan service is getting the atmosphere just right, and part of that actually is the lighting system. So you can see that there's this odd relationship between the way the environments are built with the polygons and the way that the light sort of swathes over it.
The light, I mean, there's lovely kind of lighting design there, like sort of lovely colours, but sort of the wreckage is a bit. It's a little bit
basic,
rent,
isn't it? But then it's kind of salvaged, I think, by the deferred lighting system that they've been banging on about since the game's been in development. So it is still very atmospheric for for that reason. Couple in that all the the official sound effects and everything like that again they've been banging on that since it was announced.
Because you only got to hear that motion detector like once, and you're back in the film.
And like it or not, it does make a difference, and it is more effective than you'd like it to be. You shouldn't be that easily pleased, but I certainly was when I was playing through. So here, the objective is to place a bunch of motion trackers around in like 3 or 4 different locations inside Hadley's Hope, set up a perimeter, and wait and see what happens, presumably. Yeah. And what happens is aliens.
Does it? And then it all went aliens.
Yeah.
Does it feel beholden to the location? Because obviously this mission, it seems that you're having to walk back and forth round some places. You put this sensor down, then like 5 seconds later they go, "Could you go back to that room again?"
Yeah. And this is the problem, is because they've got to be faithful to the movie sets, and that's pleasing in itself to tour around the movie sets and for them to be geographically accurate. The problem is they've got to kind of fit the objectives around there. There's only so many things you can do in that set environment, and part of that is retreading over old ground, and it's not ideal. I don't think. I wasn't laughing to myself with glee to walk back into this room and check the motion tracker was still fine.
I love the morgue. But it does progress beyond that, presumably. Do you get to see like non-film locations? Does it step outside of that?
From what I've seen, this level is the only one I've played, and it sticks pretty close to the film. There are a couple of underground levels that are new as far as I'm concerned, including the world's largest corridor, which we're about to see in a few minutes. But yeah, I mean, Gearbox has said that they're going to explore a little bit of the surface of LV 426, as well as some of the other interior locations that maybe we didn't see in the movie. So the aliens are about to... There we go. They're attacking. And the aliens actually move, I think, quite convincingly. They still look a bit like men in rubber suits, don't they? But that's how they looked in the movies.
I think they've done about as good a job as they can, because the problem is they have that kind of cat-like movement on any surface. And back in the old films, man in a suit, you never really saw them. They were teased. CGI, they're like Spider-Man, Yoda pinging off all the walls.
Yeah, exactly. So I think they've done a good job there. The movement speed and the positions that they get themselves in look quite quite cinematic sometimes.
Do they feel threatening? Because obviously in the game, the threat in the film, the threat comes from the fact they just pop out of the walls and they surprise you. Here, obviously, they're coming through one location. You can see them arrive.
Yeah, it's more about the numbers that they turn up at. This is the massive corridor that we're about to test out the smart gun with, which has a sort of auto aim thing.
I actually feel like this looks like a kind of a nod to old kind of 8-bit games almost. There's something about the fact that it's like Operation Wolf or something. You're just progressing in a line.
Yeah.
Tackling targets.
It's bizarre. It really is bizarre. But yeah, you do feel threatened when they come at you in numbers, or if you're forced into like a particularly tight corridor that's smaller than this, and you're not sure if they're going to be coming from behind or anything like that.
I think so. I want to sort of feel fear. I want to be like backing up, panicking, almost like trying not to lose it and start spraying wildly, and just sort of like you're on the edge of about to kind of like run.
Yeah, it's interesting actually because your AI squad mates just are not scared. They, I don't know whether they've done a few extra tours with aliens, but they just do not seem phased by this at all. And there'll be a couple of times when they're just getting hit in the back, like this guy. We're actually into multiplayer now, but they'll do that in single player as well.
Okay, so we're in multiplayer now. That's the extermination mode. Just tell us a little bit about that then, and what the objectives are.
So it's a 4-on-4, 4 Marines versus 4 aliens. The Marines have planted bombs on alien hives, and they have to activate them by sort of sticking in that checkpoint and waiting for it to activate. The aliens just have to stop them. So as Marines, you really got to stick in that 4-man group. Absolutely, move around in like an outward-facing circle if you can. And as an alien, you really got to sneak up and take people by surprise and do that.
How do the sort of the powers balance out then? Because obviously you've got a range of guns there. We saw some customised guns earlier, so like sort of red dot sights and stuff on a pulse rifle. The aliens, I guess, they just scratch a bit.
There were different classes. There's your soldier. There's a spitter who can spit acid from a distance. There's a lurker who can do sort of ranged sneak attacks, like he can pounce out.
We saw that earlier, the glowing line kind of arcing trajectory.
Yeah, and then there's the bull who is like a tank in Left 4 Dead who can just run amok, and he really needs the whole team to focus on him. The matches actually that I've played have all been really close, whether I've been playing against the developers or with other gamers. So I think they've actually got the balance just right. I mean, of course, at that level, no one's unlocked all the mega special weapons.
Asymmetrical multiplayer is just so hard to get right.
Yeah, and they've actually done a good job. The problem is the third-person view. It just looks horrible at the moment, and it's all too easy to get lost and for the camera to be fighting against you. So I really hope they solve that.
That's weird because you think third-person would be easier to get your situational awareness and to gauge where you are in the world.
And I think that's why they've gone with it, but it just is so clunky at the moment, so fingers crossed they'll solve that.
Cool. Okay, well, there you go. Let's have a look at the game. Leave some comments. We'll speak to you guys later. See you later. Bye.
Cheers.
Always wait.